So this particular product's been on the market for just under a year. We came up with the idea because we'd been on holiday and we came back from our holiday and our houseplants had dried. Now we did ask our children to water them for us, but you know what kids are like, and they died. So I thought, how can we possibly get this to work? So we adapted it from some old technology. Came up with the idea and we patented it. Okay, so the plant we're going to show you today is the Plantpal vacuum-based watering system for internal houseplants. It was developed in the UK and it's a patented product, and we specialise in bringing products to the market which help houseplants and garden plants grow better, stronger, and provide more flowers and fruit. So let me explain how this works. So the Plantpal comprises of four or five products, parts to the product. This is a tank. This is an internal tube with a wick, and this is an outer water device that allows water into the soil. This assembles and works on a vacuum principle. A little bit like as a child, you'd in the bath where you'd put a glass in the bath, turn it upside down, then pull the glass out, and the water would come up. And then, of course, when you let a little bit of air in, the water would rush out. And this is exactly how this works, based on that principle. So the internal tube has a wick on the end, and it goes inside this outer tube and seals. So you've now got two chambers within this cone. This is a tank of water, and the tank of water, or the globe, fits in the top. Now the tank's got access to the inner tube and the outer cone where the water sits. Now what we do, and I'll explain what it does before I put it into the plant. This wick at the bottom acts as a stopper which stops air getting into the globe. So if you fill the glass up with water, and there's no air that can be allowed in it, it retains it in there. So what happens is a little bit of water comes out, and there's a very small hole at the bottom of this cone, and this allows the water to come into the soil, makes the soil wet, which in turn makes this wick wet, which expands in the tube and seals it to stop air from getting into the tube. Now once that's done, no more water can escape because the vacuum's holding the water in the globe. Now, eventually the plant will drink the water from the soil and it will make the soil dry again, which in turn takes the water away from the wick at the bottom and releases air back into the inner tube and into the globe, which allows more water to escape through the small hole. Now, once the water then comes out into the soil, that makes that wet again, which makes the wick wet again, which means it expands and it reseals the globe, so no more water can escape, until of course the cycle happens again and again and again and again until it's empty. And it takes about 2 weeks, depending on what plants you've got, in order to empty the globe fully of water. Now, how do you install it into the plant? Well, it's very simple. You pick up the pencil which has dropped on the floor and you insert it into the soil, and you make a little hole in the soil. Now once that's done, you then take the cone, you wet the cone to seal it in a glass of water and it expands. You then place the cone into the plant and it begins to work instantly, and that will last 2 weeks. Now you can also put feed into the globe, which allows you to drip feed the water, drip feed the plant with the amount of feed it needs. Now that plant will only take the amount of water and feed that it needs, so it's very economical. Old ways of feeding and watering plants, you put too much water in it, it can spill out the bottom and you'd have a problem, or you put too much feed in and there'd be too much nutrient going to the plant, which is also a problem. So with this particular device, it allows you to feed exactly the right amount of feed and water to the roots, giving you a tremendously healthy plant, as you can see from this plant.